Is it just Pineapple Consulting or is there anything after that? Just
Pineapple consulting firm,
firm.
technically.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Here we go. Okay. So we are here today with Network Build Grow founding member Jack Tompkins, and he is with Pineapple Consulting Firm. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Melissa. This is awesome. I can't wait to get into it.
Absolutely. Let's just jump right in. Tell me kind of exactly the types of problems that you solve and who you solve them for.
Sure. So at the end of the day, I'm solving problems that are kind of common. I'm saving people time and ideally making them more money or giving them better insights into their business. The way that I do that is through making their financials and their marketing data very understandable, and helping keep an easy track of it. So think building a dashboard so you can see your key performance indicators, see what's working, see what's not working, see the trend of how things are going, and have that all automated, updated for you super easily. So you're not looking at a black and white income statement, but you're looking at this beautiful chart in your brand colors that you're actually excited to see if you're doing better than last month and things like that.
So primarily you're doing stuff that helps them understand where their business is at, where it can go, where the changes need to be made so that they can really create a business instead of just kind of plodding along and not knowing where they're at.
That's exactly right. It's helping them get a bit more data driven, and that's sometimes a scary concept for a lot of small business owners,
Right.
which rightfully so. There are some scary features to it, but at the end of the day, if that data is easily digestible and kind of right in front of you and fun to look at, um, it makes it a lot less scary. And actually, you're able to combine your gut instinct with that actual data driven approach.
hmm And do you help them interpret what those numbers mean and how they could adjust or pivot to make certain things improve?
Absolutely. Yeah, so there's kind of two packages to or two sides of the house, I should say. One is the product side where it's just set it and forget it. Here it is. Here's your dashboard. And if you want to talk about it, let's talk about it. But it's kind of set it and forget it. The other one is what I like to call kind of being a fractional analyst. And that's where I come in and we're looking at a dashboard and I'm making tools for you and we go in and actually analyze the numbers and the data every month so the small business owner can actually just get all of the analysis without doing any of the work. I love doing that. I'm happy to do it, which is kind of weird, but I love it. The small business owner then just gets to make the decisions based off of the analytics that I'm able to do.
Yeah, it gives them a better understanding of where they need to change things, add things, delete things, move in a different direction, go in the same direction if it's all,
Yeah,
happening really well.
exactly
That's
right.
great. What's the favorite thing that you do? I mean, I know that you're a numbers guy, and so I know you love to get lost in the numbers and the charts and the all of that. But what is your favorite part about what you do?
Honestly, I think my favorite part about what I do is helping the average small business owner become more data driven because that's something that's kind of in the infancy in getting to the small business world. It's fully embedded in the corporate world when you have 20,000 employees and a lot of folks come from that world and so it's kind of just there, and then when they start their own business, they don't have that data insight anymore. So I really love being able to help business owners get that level of insight without having 20,000 employees. And so they can
Mhm.
still be data driven while running it how they want, but just letting the data talk to them. And I think it's something that is going to be kind of standard in the industry in, I don't know, 5, 10 years. But for the folks who want to jump on it and want their data to talk to them, I love being able to help with that.
Yes. Now, do you also have to educate some small business owners as to the importance of it and how that data can make a big difference in their business? So is education part of your process?
Yeah, education definitely comes up in the process. A lot of my clients, luckily, kind of whatever it is, they do research beforehand and kind of know, all right, there's good stuff in the data. I don't have the time or I don't know how to get at it appropriately. So they come in knowing more or less what they want, and then the education really comes in with, okay, here's what you're looking for, here's what you asked for, but also we can get access to all this other good stuff too. So if you want, let's dive into that. And it kind of opens the door to, oh my goodness, this is financial data, it's marketing, it's operational data. We can have everything in one place, and the doors are wide open at that point. So the
And I think a
education is a
lot,
pretty fun piece.
yeah, and I think a lot of small business owners, really the marketing data is key. So I'm sure that you dive into their Google Analytics and some other things like that to bring out information that they maybe don't even know where to find it.
Right. It's exactly right.
Okay,
Yep. Some of the data sources are a bit hidden, but we can bring them out into the open.
that's great. I love that. So now, how did you get into this?
It kind of started with my background. So I got into analytics in general just from being a numbers kid growing up. And the big, I was such a nerd. On my 18th birthday, every, whatever they do, whatever normal kids do, I don't know. But I went to my local Scott Trade account or Scott Trade office and opened an investment account because that was what I wanted to do for my 18th birthday. So I've always loved kind of the financial and investing side and the analytics side. And that's how I invested. Um, that
That's
kind
such
of
a great story.
that actually it helped me create my own major in college too. So just completely going my own way from the start. And I did that based on my major was called investment analysis, and so that landed me a job in the corporate world doing basically investment analysis and financial analysis at an insurance company. So I always loved that. And I was always the guy who was talking to my boss's boss's boss and had to show them something that was quick, easy to digest. Here's the number you're looking for. Here's the support. Boom, done. Because they only had 5 minutes to spare. So from that, I kind of formed Pineapple Consulting with that same mentality of let's get you something that you can see that gives a whole lot of info. It's easy, it's quick, and it helps you run your business. So it's been a fun progression over the last however many years that's been now.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I love it. Where do you see it going over the next few years?
I definitely don't see it stopping anytime soon. I think grow, 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 scale, scale, scale. I think my business in the next 5 or so years is going to be, I'll have a whole team. Will be uh, a fair amount of products out and available for Mr. and Mrs. Business owner that just wants to be able to see their data, and also a whole bunch of services that help them get really into the numbers and make everything kind of come to life.
That's so great. Myself not being a numbers person, I appreciate what you do because that is not my forte, not my forte. So we've talked a lot about why your work is important and how you educate small business owners. If you had to tell them one thing that would really show them why data is so important for their business, what would that one thing be?
One thing why data is so important for their business. Honestly, it can uncover a lot of things that just kind of go by the wayside. And I say this as somebody I have my own dashboards internally, of course, and me being a numbers person, I stay on top of everything. But when I actually look at my dashboard, I didn't realize some of the stuff that was happening in my business. I was, to an extent, I was kind of the regular business owner. I can pay my credit card bills this month with my business banking account, and I guess I'm doing all right. Um, Obviously, with my dashboard and stuff, it gets a lot more in depth than that. But there's a lot more going on under the surface than I realized, and it pointed me in the right direction. It was kind of a red flag for me. I had to fix my hourly rate for full transparency. It was super, super, super low, and I knew it wasn't where I wanted to be. I didn't think it was that low. So it really helps even me point me in the right direction. And I think for a lot of business owners who don't really dive into the data too much, I think it can really shed some light on some things that might need some fixing, but also some things that they're doing really well and maybe they should
Mhm,
do more of and things like
mhm.
that.
I love that. Okay. All right, let's see. Okay, what is one question that you receive rather consistently from people when they first start working with you or thinking about looking at the data?
One question I receive pretty consistently is it's honestly what should I be looking at? So the client saying, I know there's data, what actually means something? And so we get into a conversation, which I always love having because every business is different. Um, a lot of times, if I kind of generalize on the financial side, revenue and profit, I mean, it's hard to go wrong with starting there. That's just a
Mhm.
really good kind of guardrails to see where your business is going and how it's been doing. On the marketing side, think like leads and conversions, things like that. And so it's kind of just starting that conversation. And we think, okay, I have 100 leads. Is that good? I don't know. Let's compare it to another month. Let's compare it to last year. And then you get to, okay, well, where did they come from? And it's just sort of this natural progression of, okay, the ball's rolling. I now know how many leads I have. I know where they come from, which one's converted the best. And now I've got a whole marketing strategy based on the numbers.
That is awesome. I love that. So I know that you use networking as one of your lead generation sources. Why
Mhm.
networking? What's what's been good for you in that world?
Good for me in networking. It's always fun, honestly. I love the small business community, especially ones like Network Build Grow. Network Build Grow, obviously my favorite. But it's a whole. It's just everybody's very supportive. Everybody wants to help, and everybody's kind of in the same boat of, hey, we're all figuring this out one day at a time. So I have really loved just sort of that team aspect.
Mhm.
That's something that I obviously no longer have to the extent that I did in the corporate world. As a solopreneur at the moment, I don't really have that internal team. So networking kind of gives me that team environment so I can bounce ideas off of and hear what other people are doing. And I've gotten a lot of good ideas and made a lot of good connections just from saying hi and doing my little elevator pitch in a network build grow meeting.
That's great. What's a good tip for people if they're getting started with networking as a lead generation? What's just a good tip for them to go in with?
For lead gen in networking, I would say there has to be a bit of specificity in your elevator pitch because that's obviously how a lot of networking goes, especially these days when it's mostly Zoom. You kind of go around the room and you say your pitch. So if you are specific with something, here's exactly what I do, and here's the ideal client for me, I think it gives somebody to kind of latch onto. Because when you're in networking meetings and you hear 30 different people, they all kind of blend together at the end of it, and it's kind of tough. So if you say something that's a bit fun, makes people laugh, and then give something specific, doesn't have to cover your entire business, doesn't have to cover your entire target market, but just something very specific, it gives a nice little nugget that has a better chance of being remembered than just an all-inclusive elevator pitch.
That is a great tip, a wonderful tip. Okay, so let's see. Okay, here's my favorite question. If you were going to write a letter to your younger self, what
Mm-hmm.
would you say?
A letter to my younger self, a slightly younger me when I was really getting pineapple off the ground. I think it would have been don't undervalue myself. It was something that I just thought if somebody wants something in Excel, oh great, I love Excel. I'll do this for free, but like might as well get a little bit of money out of it. It was not the right mindset. So I think a much more business friendly mindset is what's the value that I'm actually creating? Let's price something based off of that, not just my fun time plus a small fee.
I can't believe that you think Excel is your fun time. That just
Yeah.
blows me away.
Yeah.
That is hysterical.
Yeah. I get that a lot. There's every interview I'm on, I get the little like, really? Was that? Do you mean to say that?
Really?
Yeah.
I love that. Now, I heard a little birdie say that you have something in your personal life that's changing.
um, uh, a couple things, I guess. I recently
Hmm.
moved in with my girlfriend, which is exciting, in a house now. Um, Other than that, I think that's the big stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard there
Okay.
was that big step. Yes. I love how you always have do you guys always have fresh pineapple in your house?
Pretty much. Yep. Yeah. It's it gets an inordinate amount of compliments, questions, sometimes concerns about the live pineapple behind me. So
Yeah,
we've always got some pineapple in the house now.
I love that. How did you come up with pineapple consulting? Is there a story behind that?
There is. It's not just that I love pineapples. I
Which you
knew,
do.
which I do. Yep. Um, So in the South, obviously, very like Southern hospitality type of message that comes with the pineapple. Get a new neighbor, you give them a pineapple, welcome to the neighborhood. So that was one piece of it. But what really sold me, because I actually came up with the name when I was still living in Connecticut, what really sold me was my ideal vacation is sitting on a beach, drinking like a pina colada out of a pineapple or something. And that true vacation is so hard to come by for the small business owner. So if I could save them enough time, make them enough money so they could actually take that vacation that's symbolized by that pineapple, that would mean the world to me. So that's my website background. That's the name of my company. Um, Always trying to just get people to have their nice vacation.
That is awesome. I also heard with the Southern hospitality thing that I think it was mostly in like New Orleans and Charleston, that if somebody put a pineapple out on their front door, it meant come in for some sweet tea.
Oh, there
Like
you go.
like my doors are open, welcome, welcome in. So if the pineapple was outside, it was come on in, I'm having some sweet tea, come sit on the porch with me.
Oh, that's so cool. I gotta have sweet tea in the house then.
Yeah, so that was one of the things that I always thought was really cool. So thanks for
That's
spending
awesome.
some time with us today. We're so excited that you're with us at Network Build Grow.
Thanks so much for having me, Melissa. This is fantastic. And yeah, looking forward to talking more and being on the networking meeting.
Wonderful. See you soon.